Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are live. We have a full panel. We are talking our top 10 tracks from 1989. It gets harder as we keep going, so let's do it.
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grant's Rock Warehouse.
It's true. I thought 1989 would be a lot harder, but I think 88 was harder. Yes. I don't know, but when we hit the 90s, I'm concerned.
89 was a breeze for me, and I was shocked. I didn't realize how impactful this year was for me as far as my favorite music goes.
Yeah.
So I was a little shocked.
So anyway, welcome to Monday. Look at this panel. We've got BM Bolt. We've got Johnny Metal. We've got John the Music Nut. We've got Yvonne the Music Man. And we've got DC Tune Time. And this is also Hudson Valley Square. So we will head off tonight's festivities with the top 10 tracks. And, well, we know how we do it. We want to hear from you in the chat. We're going to keep it loose. What a good excuse to talk music, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get started because we probably have a lot. So everybody's picked 10. We're going to go 3, 3, and 4. We're running this just like the Contrarians live show on Wednesday. So, like I said, I want to welcome the panel. I want to welcome everybody in the comments. Let's get started. DC, what are your first 3?
All right. As I prefaced, in my history of doing these lists, 1989 has been one of the easiest years to compile my top 10, which is a little surprising for me. Because as we were moving through the last 3 or 4 years, there were some lukewarm choices, or I would come up with a solid 7 and have to round it up with 3 more tracks I liked but wasn't on fire about to get to a top 10. But there was no problem with that this year. And as we see from the handy graphic over here, you folks can figure out, we're back to my Rundgren yearly picks after about 3 years of just picking production choices from Todd. We get an actual Todd song, first time since 85. And from, as the graphic says, from the album Nearly Human, and I could have gone with 4 other choices. My pick is The Waiting Game. This is great Todd pop. And in fact, this whole album is kind of like a return to form for him, in my opinion. Was it picked as the single from this album? No. They picked The Wand of a Nail. Would it have made any difference on the charts if they would have gone with DC's pick? Probably not, but maybe so. I have a difficult time grasping the tastes of the general public at times, or even at the powers that be in the music industry. I think a lot of times I'm just not on the same wavelength. And we'll find this out again with my second choice. Let's give a further example with another of my all-time favorite musicians. Paul McCartney from Flowers in the Dirt. It's My Brave Face, which, folks, only reached 25 on the U.S. charts. Only 25. For me, this has all the hallmarks of an outstanding pop song that McCartney can readily deliver anytime he wants to. Melody, vocals, instrumentation, and it's freaking Paul McCartney. 25, come on, folks. But this is the first inkling that my boomer tastes were being slowly usurped by a younger generation. This, along with the previous Rundgren album, are real gems in their catalog, with many outstanding songs on each. And if you've not checked them out, please do. Or if you think my taste in music is crap, don't waste your time. All right. We'll move on to my final pick of the first go-round. Right. Another all-time favorite of DC's. We have XTC from Oranges and Lemons with Mayor of Simpleton.
Excellent.
And like the previous 2 albums on the list, I could have picked any number of songs from this release. These 3 albums that I've already mentioned are probably in my top 10 for the decade of the 80s, easily. And again, this is just a great pop tune. It's catchy, melodic, and very clever, as is so much of XTC's material. Again, not the only single I could have picked off of here because I like everything on here except for the one track. Here Comes President, Kill Again. But
Don't like
the
that.
band that does a lot of different things, you got to expect something or a couple of tunes not to really resonate with you. But this album is a 10 as well. Fantastic.
I finally checked out XTC for the first time not too long ago. I got the somebody suggested the Black Ice, what's that album?
Black Sea.
Black Sea. Thank you, Black Sea. Thank you. Whew. I liked it. I need to listen to it a little bit more. But yeah, first time I ever listened to XTC, and it was,
a lot of great guitars on Black Sea.
Good stuff there. So
Johnny Metal, it's really weird because for me, my jumping on point was Skylarking because Rundgren produced it, and everything from Skylarking on is like I hail in high regard. Stuff earlier in that is really hit and miss for me, but it's still, top shelf material.
I must say something about Gary Joyce. He is firing off shit left and right.
What the?
Gary Joyce,
he must like 1989.
Thank you, Webb.
You're like a big fan of 1989? Jesus.
We'll get to you in a bit, Mr. Joyce.
D Rocker Marillion.
Hey, D Rocker.
What is slogan? Jason, I love my hair metal. I'm with you. All right. What else? Skid Row. Big Guns from Slogan. God.
And youngsters are chiming in with that heavy guitar stuff.
Yeah, see, I like Drums and Wires, Black Sea. I like all of the XTC albums, so I really can't.
Louder Than Life agrees with me. He says, I'm with you, DC. I prefer later period XTC for sure. But you can't go wrong with the full catalog. Okay,
no,
I'm done.
You cannot. No, you're good. All right, Yvonne, let's keep going. We'll go. Yvonne, what are your first three, and welcome to the show. Nice to see you.
Yeah, thank you. First, I'm very sad that this is the last year of the 80s because 80s is my favorite time from 80 to 89. But I want to start again on 80s. But 89, yeah, it was an okay year. It was I was 23 years old, I think, that year, and
just a baby.
Just a baby. I was going out and dancing and meet girls. And the first I want to start the show with is number 10 is Brian Timothy Finn from New Zealand. And this is, of course, Tim Finn, his fourth, I think it's third solo album. Yeah. And this guy is from, of course, from the group Crowded House from New Zealand, as most of the people know about. The song I picked up is Not Even Close, and it was a single. It was number 124 in Australia and 91 in Canada, but no chart appearance in UK and other places all around. But I really like this song, and the album was, I think it was released in April 89. So this is my number 10 pick.
Yeah, that album came out. I remember that. I had that CD. I don't have it anymore, but you can find it every now and then. It didn't do anything here in the States at all.
Yeah, but it's a good album. It has 2-3 songs that is really good, and that Not Even Close song is very good. You should check that out if you have not.
100%.
Forgot the song. So and I think Tim Finn is 72 years old, and I think he's still singing all around the world. So I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
The next one, I think you, Grant, saw at this 80s cruise some years ago. I think.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, it's number 9. This is Howard Jones. This is the Everlasting Love song I picked from this album.
Excellent.
The album is Cross the Line, and Howard Jones is 70 years old, and this album have The Prisoner and this song Everlasting Love as a singles. And the single was out in March 85. And Howard Jones, I still like it. And he has an okay show on the cruise also, Grant.
What? Say that again?
Howard Jones had an okay show also on the cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yes. And number 8 is, of course, one of my favorites. I have managed to get all his records on vinyl. Chris Isaac, and of course the song Wicked Game is from this album, that's my number 8 pick. And if you remember 1989, it was MTV on the TV, and you remember the very nice Hawaii video with Chris Isaac, and he meet a very nice girl at the beach and everything. That was a video about this wicked game. And
it was saucy.
You couldn't get away from that song.
Yeah.
I couldn't get away fast enough from that song sometimes.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen,
All you guys.
all you have to do is go through the dollar bins here in the States, and you can find this CD all day for $1.
Yeah, but it's a good album. Chris Isaac.
Oh, sure.
And he made a Christmas album 2 years ago, so I bought that also. So he still make albums. And this Why Got Heart movie with David Lynch, and this song was also used in Wicked Game. And they made a new video about, so it's 2 videos around this Wicked Game song. So that was my number 8 pick.
Excellent.
And it was in July 89 it was released.
All right. Well, the chat room is just going crazy. I can't even keep up with it. There's so much going on. Anyway, we have 55 people.
But it was a good. I see they write the Wicked Game was a great night-driving song, and that I remember. I drive my car and I listen to the song and I looking for girls and pick them up. And it was
Sounds like the life of DC.
Attaboy!
Yes.
You know, if this was
top of the hill. Yeah.
If this was DC and this was 1976, he'd be putting on this record, making the moves. Weren't you, DC? Wouldn't you?
Yes, sir.
And I fall in love one week, and the next weekend I didn't fall in love, and I get a new one the next weekend after that. It was fun times.
I was like DC, 100%.
They love you,
Yvonne. Thank you very much. You are a true professional. Let's throw it over to John, the Music Nut, ladies and gentlemen. John, take it away.
All right. Thank you. 89.
Yes.
Treasure of Riches. To the point where I'm looking at all the song suggestions in the chat, and they're all fantastic. And I haven't named one of them. Because
Milli Vanilli, Blame It on the Rain.
Oh, we'll have more on Milli Vanilli later on, folks.
Regardless of who sang it. There you go.
Oh, jeez.
No.
Jesus. Yvonne.
There you go.
You know, that's kind of terrifying that Yvonne can just pull that Milli Vanilli out. Let's look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all
I
fake.
really
It's all
like how he
fake.
pulled that out.
That is just wrong, Yvonne.
All the hits.
Rest in peace, Rob.
Rest in peace, Rob.
Doubt about it.
Make sure the numbers are probably just dropped. Anyway,
All right.
Logan says, Grant, you know it's true.
There you go. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to bang out a few lyrics to this one, and I know you're going to dig it.
I'm digging it.
John Clauser and that pretty boy smile. John Clauser and that strong Southern style. A new religion, he will bring you to your knees. Black velvet, if you please.
Nice. Smooth as silk you are, Johnny.
That's right.
John, the Music Nut.
Love you, brother. That's
I love
awesome.
you too. All right. Number 1 hit for Alana Miles. She's a one-hit wonder here in the States, but I'll tell you what, in Canada, this went diamond. Just had a ton of hits in Canada, this self-titled debut from Alana Miles. And this was her peak because 3 years later she came out with a second album, and it did well in Canada, but look at DC still laughing.
DC's like bright red.
And JC.
So someone check on DC to make sure he doesn't pass out.
But anyway, yeah, excellent. I mean, everything about this song works very well. You have that bass really carrying the track. You have a fantastic bridge on here. It's something I love to talk about. And I think the guitar solo is very lyrical, perfect for the song. Love the ad-libs during the ride out. Just excellent track. Deserved to be a number 1 hit for Alana Miles. Black Velvet. Speaking of John Clauser, number 9.
Here we go.
This is
yes, go.
And this is when the Jackie Rogers Jr. of heavy metal, Blackie Lawless, truly found his inner Pete Townsend, but he would do it even more so on the next album. I'm talking about the opening track from the Headless Children, The Heretic, The Lost Child. That's right.
Look at that. Johnny Metal going in for the props. Of course, he's got
Absolutely.
He's got the whole damn catalog
Look
sitting
at
right in
that.
front of him all the time.
Of course, I'm gonna have a Wasp song on my list. Are you
Of
kidding
course.
me?
That's great.
Yes.
What a relentless pace carried on in this song by the late great Frankie Banali, I'm sorry, and the unpredictable Johnny Rod. Wonderful song. Very driving, and we got not one but two bridges in this song. Ha ha ha.
As a bonus.
Excellent.
And if y'all watched Wasp Wednesday, Judas Priest, the Year of the Priest, John loves his bridges.
Right.
He was picking them up like nobody's business.
I'm gonna change the name of my channel to London Bridges Falling Down. That's right.
Yes.
There you go.
This is crazy.
Excellent.
I love it.
Excellent track. Great lead off track off. One of the best albums, in my opinion, by Wasp, The Headless Children. That's my number 9.
Right.
Number 8 is a Rand Kelly favorite. That's the thing
Never
about
heard of him.
the thing about King's X. I mean, the guys from Pearl Jam, they said the King's X invented grunge. This might be their best album right here. This is Fall on Me from Gretchen Goes to Nebraska. I'll tell you what, guys, I don't know, but I think everything they've done is a 10, including this song right here. I mean, these harmonies on here are just heavenly. There's a great driving track on here. Wonderful guitar solo on here. A nice breakdown after the bridge. Very well done. It's one of the heavier tracks on this album. This is a great album. I mean, this is the best album. Or maybe Dogman's a little better, but Fall on Me from Gretchen Goes to Nebraska. It's my number 8. By King
And the
Craig.
Oscar goes to John the Music Nut for his portrayal of
God.
Rand Kelly.
That
Oh,
was
God.
pretty damn good, Rand Kelly.
Very
Wow. Damn.
Thanks, everyone.
some
And
of
I-
Rand's spirits.
And I think most of us are
scratching
just
his
drinking water, people. We're not doing anything heavy.
Right.
No.
Just dive
So-
deep.
Score.
Well, there, God, Rand. Shout out to Rand Kelly, my man. That's
Hi,
right,
Marco.
all right. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Nut. Let's throw it over to Mr. Metal.
Oh gosh, I am next. Wow.
Yeah, 100%.
I lost track of myself there. I got so wrapped up in John's
mean,
impersonations there.
God,
so,
I hope he keeps doing that impersonation.
I'll tell you what,
wow. Man, I'm
That's all right. Take a moment.
what am I doing? So my first was probably like my only like really non-metal song on this list. Believe it or not, I actually picked something that's maybe a little on the lighter side, but I've been kind of a fan of this guy since he was in this little band that came out in the 70s. They had like a really big greatest hits album, and like the following year they came out with this really ginormous album that just broke them through the stratosphere. And then they broke up, and then he got his dirty laundry out, but on the album Building the Perfect Beast or whatever that's just called, I don't even know the name of the album anymore. I forgot. I lost my track.
That's all right.
Part of the Matter, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I love
The end of the Innocence. Thank you.
good song.
There's so many good songs on this album. I think I was first drawn to it because I like one of the first songs I think I heard from this. It was actually the "I Will Not Go Quietly" song with Axl Rose, and it's funny because Axl's voice is kind of softer in the mix, so maybe he did go quietly. I don't know, but Heart of the Matter, this song has just really come to mean a lot to me over the years. This has just really taken on a whole different level of meaning to me. So it's a wonderful, wonderful song. Okay. If Marlon was here, he'd probably be poo-pooing me now.
Where is
So
Marlon?
so let's
Wait a minute. Hold on. Is Marlon still around? Because I haven't seen Marlon in forever.
I don't know. Good question. If you're listening, Marlon, we're thinking about you.
Maybe Gary Joyce knows. Gary Joyce, you're in charge of Marlon. Where is Marlon?
So while everybody else is looking for Marlon, let's go into some metal picks here. This one, the album featured a brand new singer for the band, and man, this man's voice just was into the stratosphere. It's a shame that we lost him a few years ago. I'm talking about Mike Howe, Metal Church, from the album Blessing in Disguise, the opening track, Fake Healer. Just a bone-crushing riff to start off the song, kind of talking about the whole medical profession or lack thereof, depending on how you look at it. But still a very powerful song. Yeah, rest in peace, Mike. How we miss hearing your voice in Metal Church. Now my next one. Now this might appease some of maybe the Journey family tree fans. When Jonathan Cain decided to call his old buddy from the Babies up, and they decided to do this thing called Bad English. But I'm going to go with the song Forget Me Not. First single off that album that's a hard rocking song. Man, that thing burns. Great track. One of my definitely has always been one of my favorites from that album. Has a lot of other great hits too, but man, Forget Me Not just smokes. There's just so much feel and so much emotion in that song. So I love it. So there you go. That's my first three.
That's good. Yeah, that Bad English album, both of them, they should get a little bit more love than they do. People kind of, there's some great songs on there, and you have to admit, Mr. Metal, that John Waite just sounds wonderful. And there's some scorching leads from Mr. Schoen.
Yes.
On this record.
Very much so.
People should relook at those records. So anyway, great picks. All right, let's throw it over to Mr. Bolt. Byron, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So my first pick.
Why does your voice seem so low?
I don't know. I've been talking a lot the last 2 days. I don't normally talk.
Talk.
My wife will tell you I'm not.
Your wife talks for you, right?
Well, when you're retired and you rarely get out of the house, you don't talk much. And I was around hundreds of friends and relatives all weekend, so
we'll give you a pass.
My voice is a little shot, probably.
That's all right. You'll
yeah. So my first song is actually on an album that was already talked about. Gretchen Goes to Nebraska. Yeah, I don't know Gretchen. I never met her when she came here, but anyway, I'm going with Over My Head. That's the first song I ever heard by them. I just love the groove of this track. When you listen to it, especially if you see it live, it's like a religious experience, and it's a real moving track. I think I just love the groove of it, though. So that was going to be my first pick. My second one, it's going to be off of the Blue Murder album.
Look at you.
It's an autograph copy by John Sykes too. There
you got an autograph? Wait. Hold on. Let's make that bigger.
Wait a second. Whoa.
See. Really?
Yeah, right in the middle.
Look at you showing off.
Yeah, I got.
And you know what? He bought it for a penny.
No, I had that. I saw them live with Thin Lizzy in about 2000. That's when I got. I showed a different one, I think, from Thin Lizzy before, and I said, yeah, it's autographed. So I got a couple things autographed that night. I think I got Live Life autographed that night. He and Gorham autographed it. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going off of the first Blue Murder album, but I'm going to go with the ballad Out of Love, because I'm going to tell you, I think John's at his best when he's slowing it down. Man, some of the ballad stuff that he does, like on that Whitesnake, Looking for Love, man, he's got that vibrato going on. He just sets this mood in the songs, and this has got a great solo. He's a good singer too, really. Such a good album. There's a lot of stuff I could have picked on here, but I went with Out of Love. Nobody talks about that one.
We talked about it yesterday on Sydney and Logan's channel with Davey Creighton and Danny, and I can't think of his last name off the top of my head, and a kid named Kiefer. So
good.
Yeah. So we talked about Blue Murder yesterday on this channel.
There you go.
I was unavailable yesterday.
Mrs. Bolt said she married Mr. Bolt because of that autograph.
Wait a minute. Let me see that. Where
she doesn't even know
it is there.
Hey, Stephanie, nice to see you. Glad you're here tonight.
She doesn't know anything about that autograph.
I love when Stephanie comes on.
Yeah, she wants to see my picks tonight. So my next pick, I heard Martin mention this track one time. I was already.
Oh yeah, Martin loves this song.
Martin loves this track, and I didn't know that he loved it until he mentioned it one day. Well, I heard it. I've loved it for years, but So I'm going to go off of the Adrian Belew, Mr. Music Head. I'm going with 1967.
That's fabulous.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great
You
album.
know, it's this quirky, beautiful song. And it's really, from what I had read, it's really like 4 or 5 songs that he just kind of pieced together. And they're pretty much all of them have dobro in them. And there's a little bass and piano in it and very minimal drums. It's quirky, like I said, but it's got this Beatles feel to it as well. It's just a great song if you've not heard that. So go check it out, people.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about 89 and not 1967.
Yeah.
Good
Came
catch,
out in
Ivan.
89.
Good catch.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. All right.
Good album, too, I think.
It's a great one.
Very good album.
Yes.
Very good album. Okay. I guess I'm up. Where do I want to start? I think I'm going to start with something that was already mentioned. Though, you know, there's some of these I did copy from other people because I thought, geez, I have that on my list too. But I am going to, my number 10, I'm going to go with Don Henley, Heart of the Matter. Just listen. I just love this song. Now listen to these lyrics.
Forgiveness.
But I know a place where we can go that's still untouched by men. We'll sit and watch the clouds roll by and the tall grass waves in the wind. You can lay your head back on the ground and let your hair fall all around me. Offer up your best defense, but this is the end. This is the end of the innocence. God damn, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
poetic right there.
Golly, the lyrics to this whole thing and the keyboards by Bruce Hornsby, because I think they both wrote it, right?
Are we talking Heart of the Matter or End of the Innocence?
I was going to say that's.
What did I just say?
You said you were singing the End of the Innocence. That
Oh, I mean End of the
That's not
Innocence. Oh, I
What
what the hell? I
What
don't want Heart of the Matter. I don't like that. End
Oh,
of
that's
the
a good tune.
Innocence is what I meant.
That's a good breakup song, man. I'm telling you.
Sorry, don't look at Heart of the Matter. End of the Innocence is what my pick. Sorry, the brain. It's been a long.
And you could still smoke in 89. You see on the cover.
Huh?
He has a cigarette in the cover. You could
Oh, he's
still
cool.
smoke. Yeah.
So
it's
anyway,
cool.
End of the
No.
Innocence. Pretend that's what that says. But End of the Innocence is great. All right, my number 9, I'm going to go with Elvis Costello, Veronica. And then we've got, this is the song co-written by Paul McCartney. Paul's playing bass on it. Very Beatle-esque to some degree, but just absolutely, I love this album.
That's a good
One of my all-time favorite albums from 1989. Some people gave Spike a lot of, they don't particularly like it as much. I think the whole thing's brilliant. God dang, I love this record. But Veronica's great, very catchy, very poppy. It's got McCartney on it, so it's good. My number 8, I'm going to copy off of DC, but not really. This song is even better than what DC picked. I'm going to go with Todd Rundgren off of Nearly Human, Parallel Lines.
Good song.
Yeah, those two for me were just like
And they're in parallel with each other.
where's my snare?
But this song, I think I would even quote saying this is like one of the last great Todd Rundgren songs. I think
that this album
Perfection.
contains some of his last great when he really wanted to put something pop out there.
Yeah, it seems like when Todd was on a major label, it kind of
They probably demanded it.
It kind of lit a fire under him more because I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the album after that's really good too, but I think that this stuff is really. I'm not saying this is the peak stuff. This album, the thing that drives me crazy about Nearly Human, and we're going on a tangent, is it really needs remastered properly because the original CD when it came out, very thin sounding, very trebly. Ooh.
Yep.
Did you say you were about to go on a tangent? Wait a minute. Does that ever happen in the Rock Warehouse tangents?
Never. Nope.
No,
We run a tight ship here.
Kiefer likes this Todd album. I think it's okay.
Oh, it's a great album. I love it.
I saw him on this tour, and it was great. But it just seems like Todd, when he was on major labels, just seemed to be, I don't know. Once he was off a major label, I don't think we ever got quite the same amount of quality material. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I think the major labels insisted him putting a couple of gems on there and not letting him just take it where he wanted to, wherever he was creatively at the time. He had to bring a couple of things that could be construed as hits.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Right,
Grant, Parallel Lines remember me about Blondie's album, and you know we lost Clem Burke from Blondie last.
we did lost Clem Burke
Mm.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I didn't know he even had cancer. He's a very private individual, and I had no idea that he was still. But man, what a great drummer.
Yeah,
Man, so good. He could play anything. Anyway, let's keep going because now we've brought the whole panel down. Let's throw it over to DC for his next 3 picks.
All right. With my second go round, let's pick up where I left off with the incredible excellence of this year with Sowing the Seeds of Love from Tears for Fears. And why it doesn't get any more psychedelic, beatly pop rock than this in 1989. This song did reach 58 for the year on the Billboard singles charts for 89. So a salute to the general public for that. McCartney couldn't make the top 100 for that year, but Tears for Fears aping the Beatles cracked the top 100 for the year. So I guess we'll take our victories where we can get them. Again, this is a wonderful song with so much attention to detail vocally and instrumentally, and you've got elements weaving in and out. And oddly enough, the rest of this album is more of a pop soul jazz effort with Alita Adams adding quite a few vocal touches all the way through. But this album too is a fantastic release. I could almost make a top 10 list of albums from this year from even the singles I'm picking here. If you want a complete Beatles fest from Tears for Fears, check out Everybody Loves a Happy Ending from 2004. Okay, now
Yes.
I must address an omission from 2 years ago where I completely overlooked a group that I shouldn't have.
From 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago, unless I got totally goofy, or 3. I think it's 2. But in any effect, it's from the album Fruit at the Bottom in Wendy and Lisa with Always in My Dreams. Again, I could have picked 4 or 5 other songs here. That's how strong this album is. This is great soul pop. And it's one of those songs that I could imagine being played at a prom or a homecoming back in the day. It's dreamy with that round and round kind of melody. That's perfect for that kind of experience. Melody, vocals, music, all top shelf. And when you listen to Wendy and Lisa's solo stuff, you really hear how much they brought to Prince and the Revolution sound. Chef's Kiss, ladies. And for my third pick, while we are discussing ladies, this is
He's always discussing the ladies.
Oh my.
This is my reflective song pick. And as those who really know me, despite my tomfoolery, at heart, I'm a pretty reflective guy. This tune deals with the passage of time, and it's Bonnie Raitt with Nick of Time. This is such a smooth song about such a weighty topic. And it does have this galloping beat that goes through the song, despite how soft it is. That puts you a little bit on edge, just thinking about time and your reflections on life, our place in this life, what we hope to accomplish, looking at our parents, looking at what we are. I mean, you're in the on deck circle, folks. When you start to look at your parents and seeing how old they are and such. But very reflective song, and I love the line, life gets mighty precious when there's less of it to waste. And oh, how those words ring true for old DC.
Old DC's bringing down the panel.
So, yeah, we started out with Blondie's drummer dying. Now I follow it up with this. So let's move on to Yvonne.
Yvonne will bring us back.
Yvonne
Yvonne,
will bring
what's your
us
next
back.
story?
Help us, Yvonne. Come on.
Oh,
we're gonna
God.
have a
Jesus.
party.
Jeez.
Where
Funky
is it?
Cold
I gotta
Medina.
find
This is
Oh,
a rapper,
yeah.
Tom Loke. Tom Loke is called. His name was Anthony Terrell Smith. He was born in '66, and this album here has also this song "Wild Thing." Also, it's a good one. But
Mhm.
the album, of course, the album here has a lot of sample and. The song Funky Cold Medina have a drum break from Funkadelic. It also had Satisfaction with the Rolling Stones. It has Guitar from Hot Blood by Foreigner, and All Right Now from Free, Backlund Turner Overdrive, Honky Tonky with Rolling Stones. So it's a lot of good samples in this song Funky Cold Medina.
That's a fun tune, Yvonne. That's a
Yvonne,
fun
let's
tune.
quote some lyrics before we get started.
Funky
cold
Cold Medina.
cooling at a bar, and I'm looking for some action. But like Mick Jagger said, I can't get no satisfaction. The girls all around, but none of them want to get with me. My threads are fresh, and I'm looking deaf. Yeah, what's up with Loke? I can't go through those.
It's a cool guy. It's a cool guy. And this was earlier, I think 89. I really like it. It's a funky song. Good on it. It's you can do a lot of moves on the dance floor after this song, Funky Cold Medina. It's a good song for make all the good moves.
He was on the 80s cruise last year, but I didn't see him.
Okay. So we are going to I think it's number 6, yeah. And this is Italian House. This is a Black Box. And Italian House, this group here, Black Box, it was an Italian DJ called Daniel Davolo. And the lady here, she's a French fashion model. And she's called Catherine Queen Neo or something. But the song, artists that sing. This is, of course, you can see this big, make it big.
Make it big.
Yeah. This is Loletta Holloway, and she is so good. All these albums, she has 3 albums, are very, very good. And she was the voice of the Ride on Time song from Black Box. And this was a huge hit on the discotheques here in Norway in '89. So I really dig this Ride on Time with Black Box. It's one of my favorite dance songs to dance to.
See, on this panel, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get all kinds.
Yeah, you got to do that.
I'm going to get variety, folks.
Yeah. And now we're going to have some white, Blue Eye Blue. This is Simply Red.
Yep.
If you don't know me by now with Simply Red, this is an old song. I think this song is with call it Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes from '72. So it's a cover song. And it's from Simply Red. And I have never seen Simply Red and Mick Hucknall live. Have you seen this guy, Grant, on the 80s cruise? Mick from Simply Red? No. Okay.
I'm not sure if he hasn't been on the last 3, so I don't know. Maybe he's been.
Yeah, I think he's still going on, and this first album from Simply Red, the picture book is very, very good from '85. But this is what my number 6 pick.
That's excellent. The only black
box
I know used in airline accidents.
Oh boy.
All right, thank you, Yvonne.
Hey, before we move on to John the Music Nut, here's a suggestion that you might want to take into consideration, Grant, from Louder Than Life. He says, don't know about you guys, but I'd love to hear Grant recite more rap lyrics. Maybe you could do those shorts where you take a stanza or 2 of a rap ditty and just put those up online.
Maybe I'll do a show like that.
I think that would be fantastic.
All right, I'll do it. Here's verse 2. This brother told me a secret on how to get more chicks. Put a little Medina in your glass and the girls come real quick.
Yeah, Punky Cola-Dina.
Yeah.
It's better than alcohol or an aphrodisiac. A couple of sips of this love potion, and she'll be on your lap. The guy was, listen to those lyrics.
That's poetry. Now he's right up there with Henley.
I know. Grant's Rap Warehouse. Well, we can look at
Rap
more
Warehouse.
of these lyrics later. Anyway, all right. Thank you, Yvonne. Let's throw it over to John the Music Nut and see what voice he's going to come up with this time.
I don't know if I can do this man's voice, but maybe I can get the cadence down. Let me see what
Okay.
I can do.
All right. Give it a shot.
All right, so this next one, you guys are saying all the songs that before I said none of your songs were on my list, but now you're saying all of them. So I saw this band in 92 at Irving Plaza, and they were playing with the Sugar Cubes and
I like
Teenage
Sugar
Mutant
Cubes.
Ninja Fan Club. You know that album? It was got that magenta cover with the that sour-filled bag on the cover. But the band I'm talking about, now I'm not sure how high this charted, but it's number one on Best Ever Albums for 1989, and it's the Pixies with Monkey Gone to Heaven. Do you guys even know who I'm trying to do?
It sounds like
That's
David Creed.
I was about to say Davy Creighton. Yes.
John will be in our lounge all week, folks.
Now, my better half was there, but we didn't really know each other then. But we played this album at the record store all the time back then. This is a banger of an album. It eventually went platinum. It did very well in the UK. But this is a great song.
He's doing it good.
And it really is a great song because it's
Getting
got
a little scared.
Oh, wow.
Have you taken your medicine today?
I've taken my medicine, but
Okay, okay.
Who knew?
on that Black Box album.
Oh.
That Black Box album, Yvonne.
Yeah, that was too much for you.
Was that the one with everybody on there?
Everybody,
Right,
everybody. Yeah,
That's the best album I never bought.
yeah.
Well, Monkey Gone to Heaven's my number 7.
Jesus Christ.
And
Okay.
I don't have any more voice.
Which one are you going to, what are you talking about?
Oh gosh.
I was crying. Is Tia still here? She may not be here now.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
number 6. Now, this hasn't been mentioned yet. And Grant and I did a show on this band. We did their 3 studio
That's not
albums.
it.
It's the Georgia Satellites, and this song is another chance from their 3rd album that didn't sell, but it's an amazing album, In the Land of Salvation and Sin. I'm surprised that no country band or Americana act has not covered this, because this is so well written. The harmonies on here are wonderful. The guys in the band are all trading off lyrics, and they do it so seamlessly. It's a wonderful lyric on here. Tia,
She's here.
hi Tia. Were you at that show at Irving Plaza?
Oh God.
Oh my God. Poor Davey. Kyle says John needs the Yvonne impression next.
Only if Yvonne gives a permission.
Yeah,
I didn't ask anybody else permission.
Uh,
I could do Yvonne for the next song. Okay. Another Chance is a fantastic song, though. It's an acoustic song. It's like more of a something you'd sing around a campfire. Great song, great album. This is like this and a couple other songs got more of a country feel to it, but this is my number 6.
Excellent.
Maybe give Robert Plant a little time. Maybe he might take a shot at it.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Well, if you're going to get a Georgia Satellite album, we looked at this. I highly recommend this one.
Tyler, thanks for the info. I didn't know that Blackberry Smoke covered this song. Excellent. All right, so you guys, you were talking about this in the chat before, and the next song, the DC put this album up before, and I agree with DC. There's a lot of songs you could have picked there, and this is from So Seeds of Love, and it's advice for the young at heart. And this sounds like a Britpop song, and it should have been a hit. If this was released much earlier, I think it would have been a much bigger hit. But it only hit number 88 on the charts in 1989 when it was released, and it was the third single. And now I'm going
Look, John's back.
And now John's back because I can't do Yvonne.
You can't.
I tried.
Yeah. Doing David's
Sorry,
one
Yvonne.
thing, doing Rand's one thing. Can't do Yvonne's.
Yeah. I didn't expect that, but this was the third single off the album. I thought this song, if it was on the Songs from the Big Chair album or maybe The Hurting, it probably would have been a huge hit, but I think this sound was out of vogue by 1989. This kind of Britpop sound. And it's a different Britpop sound that you have in the 90s where there was more guitars. But I think this song is elegant. I think the vocals on here are wonderful. It's an excellent chorus. And I think D. Rocker might have been the first one to mention this in the chat. So
probably.
It's a very good album.
Good job. But that's my number 5. Advice for the Young at Heart by Tears for Fears.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. So glad that John's loosened up tonight. That's awesome. All right, let's throw it over to John. Let's throw it over to Johnny Metal.
All right. So my first pick on this go around. This is what you get when you get a guitar player who likes to use a speed drill, a crazy bass player who basically is a lead bass player, but then you also get a really good soulful singer in Eric Martin. How about a little Mr. Big? And that leadoff track. Come on. One of these days. Pow! Right in the kisser. Addicted to that rush. What a great barn burning song. You think, okay, wow, this band, these guys are going to stick to their shredding roots and they are going to go nuts on this entire album. No, they show how melodic hard rock they could be. And this debut album was a wonderful, wonderful album. Yes, that is a Paul Gilbert signature.
Wait, hold on. If you're gonna show off, let's see it.
So yes, there's a Paul Gilbert signature there. So got to meet him at a guitar clinic about 20 years ago. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, so but a great album all around. There's so many good songs. There's so many other good songs. Wind Me Up and Had Enough, Blame It on My Youth, a great cover of 30 Days in the Hole. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. Next one. We go from one shredder to another, but this one was more of the Kraut variety. And again, where's Marlon? Because I think he would like somebody talking about Macaulay Schenker Group. With the track with the power ballad Anytime.
Yes.
Loved Anytime. Man, what a great track. What an emotional track. Man, Robin McCauley is just beautiful on that song. And great again, you just feel the guitar playing that Schenker's doing and on that song. It's just again, just an absolute wonderful track. My last one, this one comes from a movie soundtrack. A little horror movie from the mind of Wes Craven. We touched on one song when John and I did the month December, Dangerous Toys December. But it's not Dangerous Toys that I'm going to talk about on this one. It's a song by a band called Bonfire, Sword and Stone, but it's co-written by Paul Stanley and Bruce Kulick, amongst a couple of other people, I think.
Holy crapple.
So, yes. So there you go. This is, I think Kiss actually had demoed this for Crazy Nights or something like that, which can't believe they didn't use it. But Bonfire took the song and just made it their own. It's a standout track from a rather cheesy movie, but the soundtrack is really classic. And Sword and Stone is probably has always been one of my favorite tracks. So there you go.
God, you went through those. Jesus.
I ain't messing around tonight. Come on.
Hell no. All right. Thank you. Byron, you ready?
Yeah, two of John's picks there were on my honorable mention list. So
yeah, I know that.
Good picks there, John.
Yeah, those are good picks.
So my next pick, In 1988, someone had mentioned a track. It was on a soundtrack, and this song's on that soundtrack as well. But I'm going to go with the year that the song was put on the album by this artist. So that was 89. We're going with this woman's work off of Kate Bush's Essential World. This song, when I hear it, it gets to me. It really
gets to me too.
Yeah. It's one of my wife's favorites. She loves this track.
Stephanie, where are you?
She's not a big Kate Bush fan, but she loves this track. It's just such a good performance by Kate too. The vocals and the emotion, the way she builds it up, it really gets to you. So
if you've ever seen it, run over the footage from She's Having a Baby when they're in the ER and she's about ready to give birth and the baby's, we got issues. God, it really fits the soundtrack. Perfect.
Yeah. There's the video she made of it. It's about just a man and a woman, and it's not really about, she's not pregnant, that you can see she just collapses while they're having dinner or something, and you don't know if she survives or not. But anyway, all right. So my next pick, somebody had mentioned it in the chat. This is my favorite Hogarth Marillion album, and there's so many good songs on here, really.
Record.
But I'm going to go Easter because that's the one I like the best on here. The guitar solo on this, I think, is just absolutely perfect. And I like how after the solo, the song kind of completely changes as well. And it's just, wow. We played that on our Marillion listening party about a year or so ago. Love that track. And all right, so we're gonna have to do some guitar stuff like we always do. But
we're gonna talk guitar stuff.
Wasn't a real strong year for instrumental guitar albums per se, but I do have a couple picks this year. Well, this wasn't even an instrumental album, but let's go off of Joe Satriani, the title track off of "Flying in a Blue Dream."
There you go.
And you listen to this, and it feels kind of like you're flying too. It's got this
Great
really
track.
nice acoustic guitar rhythm going on, and he's soloing over that. To me, I think this is one of Joe's best complete compositions because there's a lot of things that go on in this track. It's just kind of slow at times, beautiful, but then he's got some great soloing in it too. I think it's his best overall composition. So that's my pick 6. So
excellent. All right. Everything in the chat is crashing and burning. My first pick, I am gonna go with. What do I want to do? Okay, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna kind of mix things up, but since Byron mentioned this, I had to take it because yes, it came out in 1988 on the She's Having the Baby soundtrack, but it did come out on Central World in 89, and it is just one of Kate Bush's Kate's song. God, I can't talk. One of her best tracks ever. And it's emotional. The lyrics are beautiful. It's just something about just the production of it, and it fits right on this album as well. And of course, I think it was great and She's Having a Baby, but I have to mention it. Top notch. Byron, I agree with you 100%. My next pick, I'm going to go right down the line. I'm going to go, well, we don't have enough of this. And this is a song that I really like and no one would ever mention it. And until I was reviewing all these, I'm looking at 1989. I have to mention a lesbian Jewish folk singer for 1989. I have to go with Frank. Double Decker Bed from I Enjoy Being a Girl. Absolutely fabulous. If you've ever heard it, and everybody's going to shake their heads, but this is a fantastic record. And she is a Jewish lesbian folk singer, but Double Decker Bed is just like, it's just, I'm not going to say a word. It's just absolutely just a magical track. The whole record's good. Check out some Frank. Seriously, it's great.
Grant, in the 80s, we didn't have so much double-decker bed. We have water bed in Norway, so that was very popular.
Well, Yvonne, we know how you are. But It's just a fabulous track. So I'm going to go a little Frank. Everybody on the panel got real quiet, but that's okay. It's all good. My next one, I know John, the music nut, will applaud me for this. I'm surprised it's not on his list, but I'm going to go with Smithereens. Now, I could have went with the obvious choice, but I'm going to go with Blues Before and After from 11. I love this record. This is probably their, well, John, wouldn't you say this is probably their commercial peak? Wouldn't you?
Yes, this is their most successful record commercially.
But, you know, I could go Girl Like You, but no, we're just going to go Blues Before and After. I think it's phenomenal. I love this record. Now, is it the best Smithereens record?
I'd take it. I think it is.
It's up there. John?
I have it in the middle of their catalog, but I'm a bit contrarian on the band because I love everything they've done. Yeah, well, a lot of people would rank it higher than me, but there's a lot of great songs on it.
A lot of great songs on there. So anyway, I had to pick some Smithereens because, man, when I think 1989, I do think of this record. So there's my three. I've got the Smithereens, Frank, and freaking Kate Bush. Talk about
variety.
Variety. All right, cool. All right, DC, you're up.
All right, last four for 89. This group has been getting a lot of shit in the comments as I glance over there, but this is another all-time favorite group of mine making an appearance, and it's Rush with Show Don't Tell from Presto.
Yes.
It rocks. It has a nice tension and release aspect to the song. As always, the interplay between Geddy, Alex, and Neil is precision. It's tight yet loose in the pocket. And Geddy gets to show off with a bit of a bass lead as well as Alex. And for me, it's nice to have worked Rush into one of my top 10 lists. Next, we have a tune from rock and roll stalwarts, the Rolling Stones, with Rockin' a Hard Place from Steel Wheels. Steel Wheels?
Say it really fast.
An actual rocker in 89 from the band, because they had released some rock singles post the dance disco ballad output of the late 70s to the early 80s. But for me, this was the first one that really hits in a rock way since the mid 70s. Riffage, horns, and a big time backbeat. What more do you want? And I always like one of my old favorites at this time period. We're still making an impact on the charts and still getting some attention and still viable, because you're like that when you start to get older. Your old favorites. Where's what I like? Where's the stuff that I like? Okay. Now for a group that I do not like, but they did record one tune that stands heads and above everything else in their catalog, or at least from what I've heard. It's a great riff, bombastic beat, cool lead, and embellishments. It's hold on to your hats. Motley Crue with Dr. Feelgood.
Who would have ever thought that DC would have been?
I like this quite a little bit. I was
probably the only good song on that album, actually.
I love this tune. I was considering maybe something from Guns N' Roses, but I just couldn't do it because they have a couple of my all-time wall punchers, Forever and a Day with Knocking on Heaven's Door and Patience. So
you got X-Ray J all upset.
Sorry, Jay. So I had to go with it. I just love that tune. For my last pick, let's go to choice from a melodic shredder that's been mentioned before by Mr. Byron Bolt.
Yes,
and in fact, it's the same tune. Yes.
Look at this.
Flying in a Blue Dream. Everything that Byron said, I will second. I love Satriani because he plays to suit the tune. He's a melodic shredder. Doesn't feel like he's got to play 27 notes in 7 seconds. That's a solid player, and his leads always suit the tone of the song. From this album, I could have picked Strange, which I like quite a little bit, or The Phone Call, which is just fun with a nice groove. So,
not Big Bad Moon.
No. Oh, I like that too, but those two for me just come right after Flying in a Blue Dream.
It's just, was that LaGrange in a different key or something? I think it was.
Oh, Mrs. BM Bolt, DC just lost 5 cool points for Don.
Well, you know, I'm not the coolest cat in town to begin with, so
Wow,
who looks at me
Stephanie.
and says he's cool?
Stephanie, let us know how you feel
man.
about this. Dang.
Jeez.
My God. Metal Cousin says that Shout at the Devil is the only good album. If I was going to listen to any of them, it'd be the debut.
I would probably listen to Shout at the Devil too. So I'm
Yeah,
with
there's
you on.
something about the debuts like almost punky, almost it's raw.
There's only like 2 or 3 tracks that I'm like really in love with on that debut, and after that, not quite so much.
I know
But-
Logan's supposed to be going to bed, but he never goes to bed. Go to bed, Logan. I'll
How
have
can
to
you
just,
step away?
Why is he
from
going to
this
bed already?
entertainment?
Jeez.
You know what I'll do? I'll just ban him.
It's not like us who has to take our Geritol or something. Come on.
It's 3 o'clock in the night here.
I was gonna say
Yeah, look at
it's
Yvonne.
like 3 o'clock in the morning over where he is.
Yes.
What's wrong with you, Logan? Come on.
I just so he'll go to bed. I removed him. Can't do anything. All right. Anyway, thank you. Who was that? That was DC.
That was DC.
Jesus,
The uncool dude in the bottom left corner.
man. All right. Let's. Jesus Christ. Wait a minute.
Oh,
This is number 4 on my list. Who is this?
Kylie Minogue.
No.
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 This is the album. Julie
I haven't heard
Cruz.
that name in a while.
Falling into the
Julie
night. This was,
Cruz.
yeah. And the album was out in 1989, and of course David Lynch and Angelo Balgetto, they used the Falling as the theme song for the Twin Peaks TV series, and that was a very, very big hit in the year afterwards in 1990. But the song Falling Into You is from 89, and I really like Julie Ann Cruz and the song, and she died in 2022, only 65 years old, so that's very, very sad. But this album here is it's a very good album. You should check this out.
Wasn't that produced by David Lynch?
Yeah, David Lynch and Angelo Bartolomento or something, Italian after name, I think. Yeah. And number 3 on my list. Let me see. Where is that? Yeah, I think that. Yeah, this is number 3. This is, of course, Tom Petty and Full Moon Fever. And the song was, of course, Free Falling. And I remember the video on MTV with the skateboard guys for going up and down, and all the girls and boys were looking for this guy. So I really like this Free Falling song. I think this is the best song from Tom Petty. And of course I'm a big fan of Tom Petty, so I bought the big vinyl box.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
What?
Show that, Yvonne.
It's the big box with all his first albums from Tom Petty, and it's all analog also. It's no digital steps in this album, so it's a really nice box of all the
Very
vinyls.
nice.
Wow, that doubles as a gym membership right there. Holy cow!
It's heavy. Yeah, and then we are number 2 on the list, and this is my first and my only 12-inch single. This is, of course, The Cure with Lullaby, and this is the 12-inch version of it. And The Cure, they, of course, had a comeback some years ago. It was last year, yeah. Songs of the Lost of the World, and the Cure album, that was a very good comeback album. And Robert Smith, he is the goth rock father, and this song here is, of course, from this album, Lullaby, and it also has a lot of other good songs on this album here. So I think this is my favorite, the Cure album. So that was my number 2.
100%. Did you call that a comeback album?
No, the comeback album was the last year album.
Oh, you mean last year's album?
Yeah,
that was
last
good.
year album. Yeah, songs. Yeah. And my number 1 is, of course, the Beatles album. It's Tears for Fears.
Yes.
So that's the Beatles. We have talked about it as it's the Showing the Seeds of Love, and I really like Tears for Fears. And of course, they also had a comeback album in 2022, The Tipping Point, and that was a very good album from Tears for Fears. So,
Yes, it was.
Kurt Smith and Roland Orzabal, I really like this guy, Tears for Fears, and of course, Songs of the Big Chair is my favorite album from '85 from them. But this is a good album, and also The Tipping Point from 2022. You should, people, if you don't have checked it out, you should do that. So that was my number one pick from 1989. And now the 80s is over. Oh, I'm so sad.
Sowing the seeds of ELO. What do you gentlemen think of that?
Well,
There's
what
a
did
lot of
ELO
ELO.
ape? ELO aped a lot of the Beatles. In fact, I wish I could go back in time to a record store in Youngstown when I bought Out of the Blue as a younger lad, and having the snooty guy at the register kind of scoff. And I said, I think these guys sound a lot like the Beatles. And he was like, and then I read a review with John Lennon. He said, if you want to know what the Beatles would have sounded like in the mid-'70s, listen to ELO. Yeah, I should have taken that article in there and shoved it in his face.
Yeah,
but that's a nexus. Beatles, ELO, this Tears for Fears period is all in the mix.
We could do a show just on Disintegration. Eric says title track from Disintegration literally sounds like something collapsing slowly. And I never really thought about that. But damn, Eric, you're 100% right. It's like something just collapsing. Brilliant. That's a brilliant statement. No love for Faith No More. Not yet. Hold on. Vinyl Planet.
Simmer down.
Easy,
Simmer
Vinyl
down.
Planet. Come on now.
Another great cut on that album. Yeah. Billy Squire, Rock Out. Louder. Come on. Jay, what is happening? Billy Squire. All right. I like it. All right. Thank you, Yvonne. Let's throw it over to John the Music Nut. I'm afraid to bring John back up, but we're going to go with it.
It's the Fred Travellina of Grant's Rock Warehouse.
We just never know what John's going to do now.
I'm the Avery Schreiber of Grant.
John in the past was the most straight guy, just did his delivery, and now something's happened to him.
Perhaps I'm the Bruce Baum, David Crosby lookalike for Grant's Rock Warehouse. But
grow that walrus mustache out. Come on.
There we go. All right, my number 4. This band's been mentioned a couple times tonight and all in the chat as well. But I'm going with the quasi ballad from the album. This was the 3rd single off the Rolling Stones Steel Wheels album. I'm talking about Almost Hear You Sigh. I think the song is elegant. And I love that bridge where they're all harmonizing in there. I think this is a wonderful track. And I think this should have been the 3rd big hit after Mixed Emotions and Rockin' a Hard Place. And Rich Little, there you go. Yeah, I'll do one for number 1. But I love Almost Hear You Sigh. It's actually one of my favorite Stone songs, and I have most of their catalog. So, number 3.
Excellent.
Thank you. Now, this is an album that's been much maligned in the comments, but it was the first studio album I bought by Rush, and it was the first studio album I bought by them in real time. And I'm going with The Pass. I think this song is magical. It's a song about suicide, but it's a wonderful song. Geddy sang so well on these late 80s albums, on Hold Your Fire and Presto. I don't think he ever sang better than he did on those albums. His voice is beautiful at times on this album. But
yeah, I agree.
And it's more almost like a pop song the way it's written. It's just very well layered, very well structured. I think it's excellent.
I'm sorry, John. I was just going to bring up something about Rush and that Presto tour. Did any of you guys happen to see the band tour that album?
Mm-mm.
That stage set was so freaking funny. They had these 2 big top hats in the back, and during the show, there'd be rabbits that would peek their heads out of the hat and then go back. You never knew when it was like going to be both of them or one. Or it's a little side note.
Nice.
I saw this tour with Mr. Big opening. Good show.
Nice. All comes back to Mr. Big on this show.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't see him till Test for Echo, and by then it was an evening with Rush, and they played 2 full sets. So my number 2 comes from an album that a lot of songs have already been mentioned for, including Yvonne just before. But I'm going with a different track. This is off of The Cure's Disintegration. It's Pictures of You. All right.
Really good song.
Absolutely. This is a very long song, but it just brings you in and it doesn't feel long. Like that melody can just go on forever. It's just wonderful. Just brings you in. I think Robert Smith's vocal on this is wonderful. Very well written, very well crafted. A lot of great songs on this album. I'm not a big Cure fan, but this was the first Cure album I bought.
One of the only Cure songs I know is on this album, and that's Fascination Street.
That was the first video off the album. I remember that.
Yeah.
This is the peak as far as I'm concerned. They've never achieved this ever again.
Wonderful track, though. That's my number 2, Pictures of You. Number 1. Okay, I talked about this artist on Rock Daydream Nation, which is Peter Kerr's channel, and Ryan Gavalier and I joined Peter for our favorite songs by this artist.
I was going to say, you two didn't put an album out that year. No, I'm just kidding.
He put out a single for his cover of Tom Waits' Downtown Train. And when we did our favorite songs by Rod Stewart, this was my favorite Rod Stewart song. I love his 80s stuff. And I think he's a wonderful interpreter. But yeah, Peter said, John the Music Nuts, what you have done, mates? And I went and I talked
Here we go. We're getting another, folks.
And I talked about this song. Ryan, what do you think of Dawn's pick? And he said, for sure. So why?
God. Love it.
I have another song. But yeah, Downtown Train. I think that Rod knocked it out with his version of Downtown
Great
Train.
song.
And it came out right in Christmas in '89. So every time I hear this song, I always think of Christmas of '89. And the end of that song is just so magical, where you hear that guitar from Jeff Beck in the background amidst all those Christmas-like keyboards, I think. And I just think he did a wonderful job with the song. And it's my favorite song from 1989, Downtown Train by Rod Stewart.
Is it a cover? Is it a cover song or is it an original song?
Tom Waits wrote it originally.
Tom Waits, yeah.
And it's on Frank's Wild Years, maybe. It's not on Rain Dogs. I don't think so, anyway. I think it's on Frank's Wild Years. So there you go. And I think that might have been from '86 or '87.
Yeah, great song though. Great.
Yeah, I really like Rod Stewart.
All right, cool. Thank you, Mr. Nut.
Yeah.
Let's throw it to Mr. Metal.
Yeah, that's a great box set. That Storyteller box set was amazing. Man, so many great retrospective, and Downtown Train was just such a wonderful. Yep, there you go.
There it is.
Yep, great.
Thank you,
great
Byron.
one. So, well, I hate to denigrate from such a wonderful track of Downtown Train, and actually talk about the song from the band that John and I did from the December's Dangerous Toys December, and whoops, looks like I got the wrong house. Dangerous Toys, teasing, pleasing, my friends. There, let's even throw the promo CD up there with the cover
nice.
That's on the disc there. But teasing, pleasing, yes. That whole album got me through that year of 1989 into 90 between songs like Scared and Bones in the Gutter and Sport in the Woody and 10 Boots and That Dog. There's so many great songs on that first album. Classic first album.
Did you say there's a song on there called Sport in a Woody?
Sport in a Woody, ripping my fly.
I have never heard. If you played me something off here, I wouldn't even.
Oh yes, yeah. You just indulge and just.
All right.
But yeah, just yeah.
Well, Sydney's got this CD. Of course he did.
Hey, go ahead, Jeff.
I actually saw them play this live on that tour. They They played in nearby Wilkes-Barre, Dangerous Toys.
I wish I could have gotten to see that.
So this, you wouldn't classify these guys. How would you classify these guys? That slogan says they should not have gotten thrown into that hairband category.
They kind of got mixed in that Guns N' Roses because Jason McMaster kind of has that almost an Axl-like voice to it, but he was a much better singer, I think. But they were a very, very heavy bluesy rock kind of band. They tried to mix in a few different influences in there, but yeah, I just thought I loved that first album. I love the whole catalog by them. I love them. But I think hair metal was the wrong classification.
So would they just be considered just, what would you classify them?
That's a kick-ass hard rock
band.
Just a rock band. Okay.
Yeah, just a good Texas hard rock blues rock band.
Because you look at this album cover and you think, well, of course we're in 89, you think hair metal or something like that. Just that album cover, I would.
Yeah. But and I love Bill Z Bob. This is great. Tommy Pons just did an absolute blast with that character. So I got to give Tommy a little bit of a shoot.
Exit Music says Hair Blues.
Hair Blues. Okay, well there you go. All right, we've already talked about this. We talked about this band once, and I was very surprised by the song that was picked from this album. As I mentioned earlier, with Davey Creighton and Sydney and Logan and Kiefer and Danny, we talked a little bit about Blue Murder, but I'm going with the title track because that thing just absolutely crushes me. That is just such a crushing, heavy groove. Carmine Appice just doing his best John Bonham impersonation. What a great heavy track. I just love, and Sykes' vocal here it's just a wonderful song. Again, we talked a lot about Blue Murder yesterday, so I will keep on moving there. This next song, this song had some meaning to me for a while, and it still kind of does in a way. It has some good memories at back then, but I can't not deny that this song would be in my top list. When you listen to this on a live 3, every time we play this song, the place lights up like a damn Christmas tree. Kiss Forever. And yep, there's the single for it. So the 45 for it, but yeah.
Is that a Michael Bolton co-write on that?
Yes,
Johnny
it
Metal?
was. Yes, it was.
That's a good tune. I like it.
Yes, it was.
This is not a well thought of Kiss album, though. Correct?
No. It's too many songs. It's uninspired. There's not. I think that maybe Rise to It, maybe Boomerang and Little Caesar might be about the only songs that are worth listening to on that album. No, there's not much to listen to off this album. So I will just keep on moving on to my top track. John's already mentioned from this album, but surprisingly, y'all, I'm actually going to go with the power ballad from it. Forever Free.
You softy.
I don't know. There's that song again. It was just a fun one to sing in the song in the car with, and I don't know. The song just always just kind of wrapped its arms around me. I just loved this. I always loved Blackie's voice for this song, and it was just again a song with wonderful memories. Got to see Wasp do it on the last tour. They just kind of chopped up the song and didn't play it in its entirety, but it's okay. I got to see him at least play some of the songs, so I'm good with that.
All right, cool. Well, we knew that Wasp would be at the top of the list. So
of course.
It's not a surprise. It's okay. It's all good. With Blackie's voice, I can do power ballads. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know if it's its best song, whoever that was before, but it's definitely up there, and I appreciate that, Zabba. Yes, I figured somebody would want to take Mean Man. No, that's actually a song that hasn't aged well for me, so no, I'll pass on that one. But
no Mean Man.
No Mean Man. I like it, but it's not as it didn't age well for me. So sorry. Keep going.
All right, we're going to keep going. Mr. BM Bolt, you're up. What's your
Yeah.
final
All right. I don't think anybody at all has mentioned this guy tonight or this album.
Well,
he gets kind of-
someone, if it's who I think you did, someone mentioned it more like the beginning of the show.
Okay, well, possibly. This guy gets kind of a bad rap sometimes because maybe he joined the wrong band, but he really kind of saved them at one point, I think, in the 80s. And I'm going to go with Trevor Rabin off the Can't Look Away album. I'm going to go with the title track.
Nice.
This guy is talented. You may think, well, he didn't belong in Yes. Well, whatever. But I mean, they did pretty damn well when he joined. And great singer, guitar player. He can keyboardist. I think he can do it all, really. What I kind of really dig, and he did this on some of the Yes stuff, he'd have these really long, extended intros to the songs, or maybe they'd have some long interludes too. And I just love how he does that on this first track on here. Has this long introduction, but this is a real strong album, and nobody really talks about it, but I love it. So I got a lot of his early albums too. So
yeah, didn't that come out on Elektra? I think.
Yeah, it was 80.
But man, you never see that very often.
Really?
No, I never see it.
You have it?
Well, I've seen it before, but it never shows up in the used bins around here. I never see it anymore.
But do you have a copy?
I do not.
Oh.
Do you have an extra copy?
No, I don't have an. If I had an extra one, it'd be on its way.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I see how you are.
Here we go. I'm gonna go with another guitar instrumental track here. This is my last one of the night. No, I take that back. It's not my last one of the night.
It's not.
But I'm gonna go with the guy named Steve Morse. I don't know. Some of you may have heard of him.
Never heard of him.
This track is called Too Many Notes. Now, that's a bunch of bullshit. There's no such thing as too many notes. So, man, Steve shows off all his chops on this track. He doesn't have to play fast, but he does on this track. It's got a real classical feel at times, but it really can rock out too. If you've not heard this, you need to really check it out. He's really showing off. I saw him play that live a few times. It was great. It's unbelievable.
Brian wants to know, hey, John, Rand, did Trevor Rabin belong in Yes?
I'm going to sit back and enjoy.
Let's just sit back and see what Rand has.
Do you want to know what Rand thinks, or you want to know what John thinks?
No, I want to know. I know what Rand thinks, and I want to hear it from you, Rand.
I don't know what he thinks, but I'm going to take a guess. Nah, he just ruined them. They just weren't the same. Just turned them into a pop band. Is that how he feels?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, Byron.
Oh, I would say this. If you asked Rand what he thought of 90125 and Big Generator, he would say they're great albums because they never released a bad album except for that one compilation that he always ragged.
Yeah, but he's not a fan of those records.
No, but he would still say they were good albums. He loves Yes, though.
Yeah, but he just felt, well, yeah, but, he doesn't, yeah. You were pretty much right, John. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, but my opinion is he gave them a second life.
100%.
90125 was Trevor Rabin.
You could never have done those records with Steve Howe.
No, absolutely not. No, he's got talent out to wazoo.
Yes.
Well, I remember when 90210, 90215, whatever you want to call it, came out, and I was a big Yes fan as a kid. And when that came out, I thought it was great. I didn't reject it. I went, new Yes album. Hey, wonderful. Sounds great. Well, the whole album is damn good. The songwriting's great. It's very 80s, but you can still listen to it today. And
I think so.
It doesn't make you want to go vomit in the corner.
Good.
It was very cutting edge at the time. And it's a great record. Plain and simple.
I agree.
Great record.
Great deep cuts on that album. Absolutely.
100%. So I don't have any problems with that era. Trevor Rabin, it was like a breath of fresh air that he brought into Yes.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Okay, Tyler Patterson just said, "Beambo, how about Jeff Beck from the Guitar Shop album?" Well, I picked that last year, and I picked it was the wrong year, so I did pick something off of that album, but it was the wrong year.
You have to watch the last show.
Yeah, go back to the last episode. I think
There you go, John. Agree, John. Rabin
Thank you,
made
Dick.
yes relevant in the 80s. Yes,
No doubt.
with
I
Shannon
picked Two
Doherty on
Rivers.
trumpet.
Yeah, I think I picked Two Rivers off of that Beck album. That's a great album. There's a lot of good tunes on it. So,
And Vinyl Planet, 100%. Big Generator had 2 hits. Level Find a Way, which I think is just as good as anything on 901257.
It's just
And
as good
Rhythm
as
of
Pablo
Robinson.
Cruz's version.
100%. So there you go.
I
Yes,
prefer
changed
90125, but that's fine.
Wolfpack. Yes, changed it up when they needed to. 100%.
And Talk is a good album. People
Yes.
bash on that. That's a good album. Whatever, though.
No,
All
there's
right.
nothing wrong with talk at all.
All right.
All right, keep going, Byron.
My next pick, another instrumental, but totally different than what I normally go with. We're going to go Stevie Ray Vaughan, Riviera Paradise.
Beautiful.
Yes, it is beautiful. It's slow. It's Stevie at his jazziest, in my opinion. Restrained. It's got a Wes Montgomery feel at times. You get a nice organ solo, I think, by Reese Winans too. You got to hear that track. It's long. I think it's like 9 minutes. It's his last album before he died. Yeah.
I don't think, Nick, I don't think, he says, I think Steve could have done 90125 Look at Asia. Asia does not sound anything like Yes with Trevor Rabin. They're
No.
a totally different animal. That's still kind of a prog album. I mean, it's more prog pop, but those albums don't sound familiar or similar.
Okay. Maybe an idea for a show would be, what would Yes have sounded like in 1984 if Steve Howe was still in the band? Because that was 84, wasn't it? Or was it 83? I don't remember.
83.
83.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting show.
I can't even imagine it because he would never play. Think about all those icons.
But it might be a good album.
I just
He
can't
did.
imagine. It wouldn't be the same record.
No.
I don't think it would have the same
No.
impact.
I mean, Trevor wrote most all those tracks,
Right.
so
And like you said, Byron, Trevor could play anything. Steve Howe was a guitar guy.
yeah.
An excellent classical guitar player too, but yeah, I mean, I just thought Trevor was just a more versatile writer.
I'm waiting for Rand to show up in the chat.
I don't know where Randy's probably hanging out with Marlon by the pool drinking cocktails.
My ears have been
No,
ringing
you know
all
what they're
night.
doing? They're hanging out probably over at Marlon's watching the grandkids.
Maybe they're on the isn't the Close to the Edge cruise to the edge going on now? I think it might be. Maybe they're there.
I think Steve Howe on the first Asia album fit in just fine.
Yeah.
It sounds like
I'm
Steve
glad. I'm glad we had the first Asia albums, and I'm glad we had 90125. There you go.
Howe. Jason, Asia is wet and downs. Howe can't write songs. Just look at modern. Yes. Well, no, I don't have a problem with Steve Howe writing songs, but I do not want to listen to Steve Howe sing. He has no voice whatsoever. Just play guitar, Steve. And he looks like the Crypt Keeper.
All right, let me finish up my last pick here. Someone was asking for something from this album, I think.
Go ahead.
Let's go with the Faith No More Real Thing album. I'm going to go Falling to Pieces. I mean, look, I could have picked a lot of songs on it. I kind of like Falling to Pieces. It's got that bass, and he's kind of rapping here and there. It's just a great track. There's a lot of good tunes on here, but let's go with that one.
Do that bass sound again.
Okay.
God.
And then those keys come in. I love the keys, the sounds that these guys use. It wasn't like anything you heard from other bands like this. It had, I don't know, kind of a European keyboard sound or something. It was just different. So, yeah, that's all. That was it for me.
Excellent.
Right, cool. I think somehow I did more than, I'm looking at my list. I think I did an extra one.
You took 11.
You didn't check it twice?
No, I'm looking at my 10 and I've already mentioned most of them. I only have 3 left, so I must have mentioned more than I was supposed to. Yeah, it happens. All right, thank you, Mr. BM Bolt. My number 5. This is a great song. I saw Lou Gramm do this on the 80s cruise. I have to mention this. Lou Gramm, Just Between You and Me from Long Hard Look. Oh,
Nice.
such a freaking great song. And his vocal delivery, absolutely wonderful. In fact, those Lou Gramm, I don't have any issues with those Lou Gramm 80s albums that he did. I think they're more Foreigner-like than Foreigner.
I see. I have that album on vinyl, the Grant. I see it on my
That's a
Discord.
good record. But Just Between You and Me is just a great pop song. Man, and he just sings the hell out of it. So I like it. I already mentioned the other one. My number 2, I'm going to go with, I know what my number 1 is, and it will always be my number 1 in 1989. But my number 2 is a B-side that was on the Cure's love song, and it's Too Late, which if you know the Cure, they put out that box set where they have a lot of their B-sides and all that. A lot of the Cure stuff, some of the best Cure material weren't on the albums. They were released as like B-sides. And this is one of them. This is just, would this have fit on Disintegration? Maybe. It's not as dark as the rest. This is more of a pop tune, but it was recorded during Disintegration, so it still has all that tonality. But phenomenal pop tune, very memorable. I could listen to this over and over and over, and I never get tired. Just like the whole Disintegration album, I can listen to it forever. But my number 1 that I'm going to go with, I have to go with this. John the Music Nut has already mentioned it because John the Music Nut has good taste. The Cure Pictures Review.
That's right.
There is something about that track I can always listen to. It's just emotion is just spewing out of Robert Smith, and it's just the production of this record. The whole album is sequenced perfectly. The songs flow into each other. Is it doomy? Kinda, but then again, I still think it's a beautiful record, and this is a beautiful track. So I have to go with this as my number 1. So, but somehow I've mentioned things twice. Oh, actually, I know another one I was going to mention. I know what I was going to do. I was going to mention. God, I am off my game. My number 2 is actually Mayor Simpleton. I was going to go off of DC. I forgot that I didn't make that graphic because why make it twice? But I wanted to put this in my list as well because XTC, the app Oranges and Lemons, I mean, coming off the Skylarking, it fits right in there. It fits right in with the Dukes of Stratosphere. All those albums are all kind of related. And if you know Apple Venus, this fits right in there as well. It's just very 60s oriented, but then it's got a modern twist. But Mayor is Simpleton. The bass player by Colin Moulding is absolutely stunning. The songwriting is great. The guitars ring out. Man.
Grant, is XTC your favorite band after Beatles?
No, I'd probably say Cheap Trick.
Okay.
I knew it.
It always comes back
I
to
knew
Cheap
it.
Trick.
Then probably XTC. I do like the Cars too quite a bit.
It's difficult.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a top 10 on Contrarians like Martin's doing. Maybe I'll do that.
Panel discussion.
So I have some 12-inch records to show very fast. If you
here you. I'll make it big.
Yeah. Eternal Flame from '89, the Bangles. Richard Mark, Right Here Waiting. Love Shack, the B-52. Express Yourself, Madonna. Candle Toy with Rochford. Back to Soul, Soul to Soul.
Nice.
From All Night, Cyndi Lauper. Don't Ask Me Why with Eurythmics. And of course, I have some albums. This is the second album to Tracy Chapman. The first one is out on vinyl now. The first Tracy Chapman album. This is Crossroads from '89. Katrina and the Waves from '89. Holy Jones from Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Blast album from 89, Deacon Blue, and the Doobie Brothers. That's the
Man,
That's some
damn,
variety right there, Yvonne.
Holy
Nicely
crap,
done.
Yvonne. There you
Psycho
go.
is an underrated record. That's a very good record.
So I guess we can wrap this dog up. Does anybody have any honorables? We got a couple minutes. You could go ahead. Go ahead.
I got a
DC.
couple.
We'll go-
I got
go
one
ahead.
thing to throw out to the panel
ahead.
here. Does anybody know what the #1 song for the year, according to Billboard, was for 1989? And this effing shocked me.
Straight up.
I don't know.
It's "Look Away from Chicago." I don't even remember that effing song. I played it and I think, was I in a coma? I don't, and I like Chicago. I don't even remember this song.
I
Nothing
think
about it.
I think it was a greatest hits album on CD because that song was on that album. I think.
Yeah, I was shocked when I when I got the list and that's at #1. You gotta be kidding me. Another fun fact: 4 Milli Vanilli songs for the year in the top 30. That ain't right.
89.
Oh, the healer.
Yvonne coming with John
Good
Lee.
John Lee
Hooker.
Hooker. Good stuff.
Very nice. Yvonne's just gonna pull crap left and right.
Yeah.
I'll pull some stuff right here. Beatles Hard Day's Night.
There you go.
Yeah, but did that come out? in
Promo
89?
copy.
It's
Naked
not
Eyes.
89.
I got the promo. You got that right there?
He actually bought them in 89. That's why he's holding them up.
Yeah.
Back to life, back to life.
James
89.
Young, City Slicker with Jan Hammer.
Yeah.
Got that ready?
That's Wild Dogs in the Night. That's on there. What's we got?
Little
Sugar
Sex
Daddy.
Pistols. Little Sex Pistols.
This
Oh, there
is
you go.
eight.
I
This is
remember
89.
that Thompson Twins album.
Yeah, it's Sugar Daddy. It's the single Thompson Twins, the 12-inch. It's from
Mhm.
89. Sugar Daddy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man. All right. All right. John, the music now. Oh. Wait a
And
minute.
passing
See what-
check.
what's
Yvonne's
going
still
on
showing
here.
off his collection. So
Oh,
That's
pump
right.
my tires, pump them up.
Somebody gave me that CD. I got to get rid of it.
This is
I don't know
a
what that is.
Swedish duo, Robin Rath and Leila Key. It's a Swedish duo. Got to get it.
I don't know that.
And this guy also.
He's still
had a
going.
single.
Wait a minute. Let's bring it up again. Who's that? Oh, Jesus.
uh,
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Yvonne. Let's throw it over to John, the music nut, who has some honorable mentions.
Okay, thanks. My favorite album from 1989 was Lou Reed's New York. So I'm going to go with Busload of Fate from that one. Speaking of a song that sounds like something Lou Reed would have sang, Splendor. This I do not know.
DC knows it.
There you
Oh
go.
boy, is that a good album.
Nice. Love and Rockets, So Alive.
oh yeah.
That I have. Eddie Money, Peace in Our Time.
Oh, yeah.
Great White, House of Broken Love, and one that's been mentioned in the chat all night, The Cult with Firewoman.
Yeah. No one mentioned that. You know?
No.
No one mentioned
Oh.
any Two Life Crew either. I'm shocked.
Wolfpack, Queen. I want it all. Rush. Don't show, don't tell. Billy Joel. We didn't start the fire. Boy Meets Girl. Waiting for a star to fall. Madonna.
Great song.
Everything's running on. Madonna, Like a Prayer. Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation. Damn, Wolfpack. You're
Good
all
stuff.
over. See, Louder knows Splendor.
Attaboy. Yeah, that's a great band. That band not being what I think it should have been is a real head scratcher for me.
DC, I mentioned that on Brendan Snyder's
I
channel.
noticed. Yeah, that's a outstanding band.
Good.
Love it.
It's a good record, and I'm just surprised that it never took off.
Yeah,
Well, I can't remember what year this was, though. We're in the wrong-
99. I think it's 99.
99.
Yeah. The label put money behind that band because I remember seeing ads in music magazines, and they also upped a little cash for a video for their first single,
Mm.
but they just couldn't make any headway.
I think Boy Meets Girls is from 88 with Waiting for the Star to Fall. That was a good song. It's from 88, not 89.
All right. Anybody else have anything?
I got a few.
Go
I don't
ahead,
have
Johnny
enough for the
Metal.
show.
Go ahead.
Let's see. I almost went with Pretending from Eric Clapton. I was going to go with Girl Like You. That was a great track from then. How about a little Enough's Enough with Fly High Michelle?
Nice.
That was
That's
a
a
nice
good
track. For the really heavy people out there, heavy metal folks out there, how about a little Creator with a song called Some Pain Will Last from Extreme Aggression if you really want to get heavy. Tesla, there were so many songs from that album, but I think Heaven's Trail No Way Out's probably the track for me. That was a banger. Heaven by Warrant, why not? He's never going to get to sing with the band again, no matter how many times everybody says he's going to do it. He's going to do it. It's just they just got to give him all the right money. No, Sebastian Bach and Skid Row are never going to get back together. Yeah. But man, I Remember You is still a great ballad, and 18 in Life, and
all the songs on that,
and
all the songs on that album are good.
Yeah, that's a good album. Slave to Grind's better, but I like that first album. And
Johnny Metal, nobody drives a Tesla anymore.
No, well,
yeah.
Anyway, last song. This one's for Ken White if he's out there. If I'm sure he knows the band White Cross. They had a song called "Attention Please." That was a really good strong song. It was kind of a Christian version of Wreck, you could say. So there you go. That's my little extra stuff.
All right, cool. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. I want to thank everybody in the comment section.
What about Byron?
Fun to do
I got a couple.
Oh, I thought you said you weren't going to do any.
Now I'm here. I got them. Let's do it.
All right, go ahead.
Good. I'm going to pick a deep track off of this album, A Face in the Crowd.
Nice.
Love that track.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Especially live, they do a real laid back acoustic version of it. Very restrained. Very good. Anyway, I got a couple more here. Giant, I'm a Believer. It's a good album. A lot of good tracks.
Absolutely.
That Giant album is out on Rock Candy.
I saw it at a garage. The first two at garage sales on CD for $1, and I didn't buy them because I thought I had them.
Oh my god!
And then I got home. I was like, "No, I don't. I used to have them, and I'd sold them years ago." Like,
go!
I should have grabbed them, but I thought I had them already. So anyway, let's go. Todd Grundgren, The One of a Nail. DC talked a little bit about that, and that Macaulay Schenker, Anytime. That was almost my number 10 pick, but I swapped it out. Great ballad. God, that's a good ballad. Yep. So that's it.
All right, cool. All right. I want to thank everybody in the comment section for coming tonight. Always a good time. I want to thank the panel, Mr. BM Bolt, Mr. Metal, Mr. Nut, Mr. Man, and DC Toontime. We'll be back next month for how are we going to do 19?
Say goodbye to the 80s.
We're going to try to do 1990, ladies.
Yvonne, you'll make it, buddy. You'll make it. He'll be all right.
I'm good with the 90s, but if we ever get to the 2000s, I think I could do all the 90s, but 2000s, I'm out. So I guess we only have.
But it's not so much vinyl from the 90s, but we can still.
Well, 1991 was the last year. That's when the pressing press shut down. You're welcome, Ken. I do it all for you, 100%. All right, we'll see everybody. Enjoy Hudson Valley Squares. That should be coming up. And hey, keep it clean, everybody. And we'll see you for 1990 next month. All right, everybody. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.